Jaguars defeat the Steelers 20-10 in our home away from home. Let's get it. Quick shout out to this video sponsor, BetUS. Guys, the Jaguars cover the 2.5 point spread in this game. And guys, now the Jaguars are 6-2 against the spreads on BetUS this season. Just absolutely crazy. If you guys think the Jaguars are going to win, you guys got to put some money on the Jaguars over here because the Jaguars are actually absolutely killing the spreads this year as the Jaguars defeat the Steelers by 10 instead of 2.5. So if you guys are interested, man, BetUS is going to give you a 125% sign-up bonus. Just check out that link below and sign up and have some fun. Thank you, BetUS, for sponsoring this video. Now let's get on to this recap. So the Jaguars win this game 20-10. So let's do some flexing real quick. The Jaguars are on a 5-game winning streak, which is currently the longest active winning streak in the NFL. The Jaguars are now tied for first place in the AFC. All 4 different division winners right now, division leaders, I should say, with the Chiefs, the Dolphins, the Ravens, and the Jaguars are all at 6-2 right now. The Jaguars are 5-0 in October after being 0-5 in the last year. And I imagine really the Jaguars' record in October the past 10 years has not been very favorable to us. We're usually on life support by then, and at the end of October, we're pretty much done, and we're checking out Tankathon to see which top 5 pick are we going to have. Not the case anymore. The Jaguars have now won 6 out of the last 7 games in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is our second home, and I always love playing there. And now the Jaguars lead the all-time series against the Pittsburgh Steelers 15-13. So we had that going for us. That was at risk that the all-time record was going to be tied, but the Jaguars take this one, man. And really with this game, man, it was another sloppy victory. But when we all saw how rainy it was, we were all just kind of like, okay, let's just find a way to get out of here with a W, and the Jaguars do. And look, this is a game where the Jaguars moved the ball well. The Jaguars weren't very bad. It was just, man, we were just shooting ourselves in the foot like crazy this game. Evan Ingram fumbled. Trevor Lawrence had a really bad interception in the red zone. Tank Bigsby had another fumble. We took a sack in the second half that took us out of field goal range. And Jaguars also on defense dropped multiple interceptions that could have been big opportunities. It was crazy because, man, the Jaguars, we were moving the ball really well. We had a bunch of good yardage. We were converting good stuff on first down. It's just like all these times where we shot ourselves in the foot. But I imagine, at the end of the day, it was like, okay, just get the win. Just get the win. That's all that matters. And the Jaguars were able to get the win. And the Jaguars won by double digits. We're at the point where every week we're complaining about the style of victory that we have, but you look at a record where we're 6-2. So the Jaguars doing something right. The good teams know how to close out these games. And, on a weekly basis, the last 5 weeks, the Jaguars have figured out how to close them, which is a good thing. And the Steelers are a good, not great team, and the Jaguars defeated them. They went against a 4-2 team, a team that's first place in the wild card standings, and now, drop them another game. So when you look at the different stats this game, man, the Jaguars' time of possession was 34 minutes to 16 seconds versus the Steelers' 25 minutes to 44 seconds. Jaguars had 20 first downs versus the Steelers' 17, and Jaguars had 377 total yards versus the Pittsburgh Steelers' 261. And, when we go into different players, Etienne was a beast this game. Now, 20 carries for 79 yards, 3.3 yards per carry, like not great, but, he was getting some good yards. But the big thing was him in the pass game, 3 receptions, 470 yards, including the lone touchdown of the day, the 56-yard touchdown reception. Look, Etienne is having an all-pro season. He should be talked about as one of the top 5 best running backs in the NFL because he is playing like that. And, I don't know if he's getting that much love nationally, but I know he's just having an awesome year. And it's really, really cool, to see him out there doing that. Evan Ingram had a really good game, 10 receptions for 88 yards. Of course, he had the fumble, but is what it is. Ridley had 6 receptions for 83 yards, and Christian Kirk 4 receptions for 46 yards. Ridley and Kirk were the only wide receivers that actually caught the ball today. So that's an interesting one. When you look at Trevor Lawrence, 24 of 32, 75% completion percentage, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. It was, I would say, a solid game for Trevor Lawrence. Wasn't his best game, but he made some good throws. He made the bad error, in the red zone. I thought a couple times, the pocket collapsed on him when probably mental clock should go off, say, okay, I need to throw this away. But it was a slop game. It was a rainy game. I wasn't really expecting too much from the passing offense, but, we went out there and, Trevor Lawrence was able to control the team, was able to get a bunch of first downs when they were needed. And look, overall, the Jaguars offense made plays when it needed to make plays. And, I know a lot of people are, don't complain that we only got 1 touchdown, but really in this game, look, the Jaguars with like 10 minutes left, the Jaguars just kind of conceded and like kicked the field goal to get up 2 possession. And then from there, the Jaguars on offense really stopped trying a lot. Now, it would have been interesting to see with 4 minutes left that the Jaguars really needed the touchdown. I think the Jaguars probably would have been able to go out there and do it. It's just the urgency wasn't high for the Jaguars because the Jaguars literally had to lead the whole entire game. It was just Jaguars were just trying to control the game, and I think they knew that the defense wasn't gonna give it up. So defensively, like Pickett played the first half, then Trubisky. Both the quarterbacks were awful. Steelers fans swear by this Pickett guy, but I just don't see it. But each of them, or I guess I should say, Trubisky threw 2 interceptions, but on this game there should have been way more interceptions. Trey Herndon dropped an easy pick 6. I think it was Darius Williams dropped another one. There were so many opportunities for interceptions that just weren't taken advantage of, but it is what it is on that end. Najee Harris, their main rusher, 7 carries for 13 yards, just awful. Deontay Johnson had a pretty good game, 8 receptions for 85 yards. He's talking crazy out of the game. This Deontay Johnson guy is saying that after the game that the NFL wanted the Jaguars to win with the way the refs were calling it. Like, come on, dude. This is Jacksonville versus a historic Steelers franchise. Who do you think the NFL really wants to be better? Like, get real with yourself, bro. And the Pickens, Mr. Hope, only got 1 reception for 22 yards and a touchdown. Not a very good game by him. And our boy Allen Robinson, no catches. I was kind of paying attention to that one. And I had to mention that special teams with McManus. McManus was money today. 4 for 4 on field goals, and they weren't easy ones. They were from 51 yards, 50 yards, 38 yards, 37 yards in an environment that was rainy. So, he was our big scorer. And look, the transaction paid off well because he has been absolutely money for us. Now, with this game, overall takeaways, look, when you saw it was raining, I was like, dang it, because I'm not a big weather game guy. I wouldn't mind if everybody had retractable roofs so you can kind of control things because, I'd rather game be played where, weather is taken out of it and then you really get the best shot from each team. But, it rained. The Jaguars still got the W. Tank Bigsby had a bad fumble and, golly, this guy, I don't know about this guy, man. Like, this guy comes in there and it's like, dude, right now you're in a doghouse. You don't really get many carries that much because you can't not fumble. Now, if you get the ball, really your only responsibility is just don't fumble. Just hold on to it, don't fumble. And the guy fumbled again. So I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, bring him back down. I think Dearness Johnson should be RB2, in my humble opinion. It's just not working out with Tank Bigsby, even though they draft him so high. So we'll see about that one. Now, I do like that the coaching staff understood that, look, field goals are good. Instead of going for all these crazy 4th downs, the Jaguars just went out there and trotted out Brandon McManus, and he was sinking them. So I'm glad the coaching staff learned a little bit and kind of said, okay, we don't need to go for this. We can just trot out Brandon McManus to make these field goals. And the Jaguars were able to control the game the whole game by just doing that. And look, the defense is very clutch. Defense only allowed 1 touchdown drive this game, and defense got their turnovers, got their stops, got a bunch of 3-and-outs to start the game. Love this defense. It'll be interesting to see if the Jaguars decide to add on another pass rusher. I'm not sure if we will, or if they'll just stick with what we have right now. But trade deadline's October 31st, so we'll see what happens. Now, when you take a look at the macro view, Jaguars have a huge AFC South lead, man. The Jaguars are 6-2 right now, while Houston is sitting at 3-4 in second place after taking an L to the Carolina Panthers, who were defeated going into that game. So that's a big one, man. Jaguars are going on a bye week before a 2-game home skid against the against both the 49ers and then the Tennessee Titans. But man, the Jaguars, well-deserved bye week, man. 6-2, really tough stretch. You played 2 games in London. You played a Thursday night game in New Orleans. You played 1 game in Jacksonville, then this game over in Pittsburgh. So definitely not an easy way to start off the season. But look, we're halfway through the season. The Jaguars are sitting at 6-2. I think every single one of us before the season, even with the high expectations that we have for the Jaguars, I think all of us would have said, okay, 6-2, I'll take that. And right now there's a 4-way tie for first place in the AFC. So let's just let next week start rooting for some of these teams to lose, and hopefully the Jaguars can battle their way into getting that number 1 seed in the AFC, because that's the goal right now as we start to pass by the AFC South. The AFC South race is starting to become a joke, with how ahead of it we are. But yeah, very exciting stuff. Let me know what you guys think, man. We're 6-2, guys. 6-2, a 5-game winning streak, best record since 1999. How old were you in 1999? I was 5 years old. Yeah, and look at me now. Go Jags.